Welcome to the Bad Mom podcast. I'm your host, Anastasia. This is my friend Chels Andrews, but I think her name is Rochelle. Rochelle, we are complete strangers, and you are in New Zealand, and I am in America. I just went through a hurricane, and it sucked. I lost power. I lost my interview I was supposed to have due to bad connection and not having power for 3 days, almost throwing out all my food. Somehow made it to Friday with the help of my boyfriend and the work fridge. But here we are today, and I just feel like it is really important to talk to people that really give a shit about this subject, and you are one of those people.
I am indeed.
Yes. So, why do you think we should talk about domestic violence? Because I have plenty of things to say about it. Why do you think we should talk about
Where would you start?
it? What?
Where would you start?
Where would
Oh,
we start? Well, I think we should start with how nobody knows what domestic violence is. They just think it's like, oh, let's punch somebody, and that's domestic violence. That's not it. Domestic violence comes in, I don't know, every single shape and form that people don't even imagine. Like those little children running around. Let's use them to hurt the people that love them.
oh yes, yeah.
That's why I'm doing this, because those are the most important things in my life. Things, people, humans, they're not objects, they're living, breathing human beings who then keep the cycle going.
That's the one.
And that's the sad part about it, because they're so innocent and they have no idea what's happening.
So it has such a massive effect on them when they're adults as well. I kind of came from like an abusive childhood myself, like domestic violence and stuff. But I can see how it's affected me as an adult because of what I saw.
So do you think that you kind of normalized it because you've seen it before?
I personally made a choice to break that cycle. Um, to not be anything like my parents or the people that I grew up around with that were in those situations.
That's good.
But yeah, I have a twin sister and she's the complete opposite. So
Really? You have a twin? Wow.
yeah,
Does she is she in a relationship right now?
um, uh, not too sure. We don't really talk much, but
Okay.
she's more of a drug scene and been around the domestic violence probably a little bit more than what I have. She's been more on the physical side of it.
Mm. Mhm.
Yeah.
So she abuses drugs. Did your parents abuse drugs?
My father did, yeah.
Probably normalize it from it. That's where I'm getting this from. This whole movement to me is coming from the fact that our kids just keep bringing the cycle back. And when we talk about bullying in school, that's literally where it's coming from, is their parents are bullying either one or the other, and they're like, oh, let me treat my peers like shit, and it's totally normal. So did I tell you that I was working on a nonprofit? Yep. So that's why, because my kids are just, I suffer from watching them suffer. And I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of these parents in these relationships don't even know how to help them, because most of the time they're just drowning in their own emotions and they are not emotionally available. So,
That's one.
mm, so in New Zealand is how does it look to be a single mom? Just curious. If you're a single mom, do you just stand out? Like, do you, I don't know, in America right now in my custody battle, I am looking like I have no support because I don't live with my current boyfriend. And I thought, in my perspective, me taking care of all my bills, taking care of all my shit, having a full time government job, having benefits and a pension for me and my kids without my boyfriend's support would look good in my court case. But guess what? I still look like a piece of shit. You know why? Because I don't live with him. And that is it. He was literally called irrelevant in my case. And he is far from it. He is very involved. And he can't even be part of the custody battle because he doesn't live with me. Like, that fucking matters. I guess it does in our justice system because here we are like debating, oh my God, like, what do we do now? Because he loves me, I love him. We're not ready to move in together. We both are comfortable in our places, but now I'm financially fucked because I have to keep fighting and it's costing me an arm and a leg that I work very hard for. And if we were married, I feel like we wouldn't have even gotten this far. If
Yeah.
we started living together, I feel like it wouldn't have gotten this far. Do you know of any kind of experience in New Zealand like this? Because I think this is worldwide because women are looked at as weak individuals in general, especially coming out of domestic violence, especially having a hint of mental problems. And God forbid anybody experiences any kind of distress after a divorce, especially lasting over what, I don't know, fucking 4 years now. I've been divorced for 4 years, 50-50 custody, and then all of a sudden we're fighting over custody again after we just agreed to go our separate ways, want nothing from each other, and here we are again. So from your perspective, would you be in that situation at all in New Zealand, or is it just America that's fucked up and profiting from these poor families fighting over their kids?
Um, I don't know. In New Zealand, the system favours the mothers more. Well, I think there's becoming a bit of a slight change now, but yeah, I don't know. When domestic violence is involved, you basically lose your children to the system. My friend lost her wee girl, oh, a few years ago now, and she still has no access to her because her partner was violent and abusive, and she actually lives with her father now. So the system's a little bit twisted.
So they take the kids and put them in a group home.
No, this wee girl was put with her grandfather, her paternal grandfather.
They put the kids
So
with the paternal grandfather
yeah, so with
over
the
the mother.
abuser's father.
Over the mother.
Pardon?
See, the mother is not related to that grandfather. That's not her father. Okay, so
No.
that means that is the father living with the grandfather? Or why isn't the father involved? He is.
Yeah, he is. The father lives with with the grandfather, but I don't even know if that should even have happened, really, to be honest, because he was the abuser in the situation.
He was the abuser, but now his father got custody. That's hysterical. That's fucking
Yeah.
okay. Sorry for my language of all you people who don't.
Oh, that seems to be what happens in New Zealand in domestic violence cases. For some reason, the victim, usually the mother, has no access to the children because they stayed in a violent relationship or whatever. But the abuser ends up getting more access to the children. Yeah.
What a fucking joke. Wow.
Yeah.
And here I thought, it was just America. So, how much money are these lawyers making off of this? Do you know about that? Is there a lawyer
It's
involved
not.
on both sides?
Pardon?
Is there a lawyer involved on both sides? Was there a huge
Usually,
battle or what?
usually there will be, the lawyer, the court-appointed lawyer for child, and then both parents will have a lawyer. But you can choose to not have a lawyer. You can just go by yourself. I was actually quite recently in a access battle. We don't call it custody over here anymore because it's access instead of full custody or whatever.
Ex custody? What
Yeah,
is
access. Oh, that's really just.
okay.
Yeah, so instead of being full custody now, it's day-to-day care with the other person having access.
Okay, so we're really trying to keep families apart. That seems like the pattern here.
Uma, would you either choose to come in or stay out? Sorry, my dog.
That's okay.
Get.
That's really interesting to me. Why is that the target? Instead of putting the family in counseling, putting the family through some resources, the best way to do it is to pull the mother from the children and then even have the grandfather of the father, sorry, of the abuser take custody and then let the abuser live in the home with the children. That's a better idea. What the fuck is wrong with our world? I'm sorry. I can't. I
Yeah,
my mouth
it's
away from the F word because this shit pisses me off. I am so angry. I can't. Everything I learn, the more people I talk to, especially over the world, it is even more fucked up. I thought I was living in America, the free country of whatever the hell. I actually don't even know now, 2020, but it's just insane. Why on earth would we want to separate a mom from their child? The first bonding that happens is in the utero. You feel your baby, you know your baby before you see your baby. That maternal instinct of knowing when something's wrong without even being in the same room of your child. You felt that
yeah.
before. And that is
I'm not a biological mum. I am well, I was only a stepmom, but basically from the moment I found out that my ex's whatever she was pregnant with his baby, it was just all about that baby. So to me anyway, not so much him, but
so whose baby was it?
my abuser's boy, wee baby.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
don't, okay, you never got married, you got pregnant with his baby.
I've never been pregnant to
Oh,
him,
okay.
but
So,
I raised someone else's baby that she got pregnant to him, so that she had to him.
okay. Do you want
Yeah,
to talk
but
about
we were never married. He didn't believe in that stuff.
that's I mean, you know, I don't really believe in that stuff either. The only reason marriage is good for is taxes, health benefits, and I think life insurance.
Yeah, in New Zealand, our healthcare is pretty cheap compared to over there, I think. So we have access to free hospitals and stuff. So we don't need to worry too much about the healthcare side of it. But yeah, when you get married, I think it just, I don't know, the taxes
And I'm not
and
really
life insurance.
with your system of government, but what kind of government do you have? Like, as a citizen, do you have any say in what goes on? Like, especially this child custody bullshit. Would you be able to, anywhere at all, call somebody, tell them this is how you feel, actually feel like they're going to change something? Like, we have congressmen and women, governors,
Um, yeah, our government, we have like
the president,
no, we don't have a president. We have a prime minister,
prime minister. Okay.
but and we have the Labour Party and the National Party, which are pretty much the Democrats over there and the Republicans, but New
Oh,
Zealand style.
and so when you elect the prime minister, it's either from the Democrat or the Republican Party, and the people vote for it.
Yeah.
I think those votes.
We've actually, I think in America, you guys have probably heard a bit about our current prime minister.
It's a
She's
woman.
actually pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard
yeah.
you were the one who told me, and then I looked into her, and I was like, "Damn, this girl has been through a volcano, coronavirus. She's killing it, and she's hated just as much as Donald Trump. So she must be making a difference.
Oh, she's amazing. I'm a big supporter. She's made some pretty massive changes, like child poverty. She's made changes to help lift children out of child poverty, and changes to the child protection services because they're pretty crap.
That's it. That's what
Um,
to start with. Like,
yeah.
so now what are the changes? What was it, and now what is it?
Okay, so for child welfare in particular, they have just repealed a law. So if you've previously had a child removed off you, before the law that was in place stated that you basically lost your child, any subsequent child, and automatic child protection involvement. Now, I don't think you risk losing your children instantly. You get given that chance to prove that you can parent, and so, yeah.
Okay, well, that's a step in the right direction. What do you
There's heaps of other changes. I just haven't, like, there's so much going on at the moment. They haven't really
Yeah,
looked
you
up on it.
with this shit. It's nauseating. I don't know. I have friends keeping me up to date because they know I'm like working, so they're just like, "Oh, by the way, this happened." And I'm like, "Great, thanks for telling me," because I was not paying attention. And the less stress I have, the better I can function because it's been probably the most stressful year of my life. I don't know. I thought I was getting better. I am getting better, but mentally, like, just managing everything on top of like being threatened with this imaginary thing that's killing people and somehow protecting your family, you're like, what the fuck is actually going on? But a lot of people are just staying home and drinking their lattes and whatever, Coca-Colas, and we're out there working and being bitched at for not wearing a mask, and we're just like, oh my god, but we've been at work this whole time without a mask, and now we have to wear.
Meanwhile, in New Zealand, we have no community transmission. I think we've been over 100 days without it out in the community, and we've never had to wear masks.
Wow. Okay, so what about hydrochloroquine, or I can't, hydroxychloroquine, that's it. I wanted to ask you about that. Is that banned in New Zealand?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
because here we have doctors that are lobbyists with I forget the company, I forget what the company name is off the top of my head, but they're stockpiling hydroxychloroquine to protect themselves, but they can't come out publicly because they don't want the news to destroy their careers and get them fired, like those doctors that were speaking out for hydroxychloroquine. A lot of them are fired. But here in India, this was, I think it's the second largest by population density country in the entire world with their population is only lower than China's, and their police force all take hydroxychloroquine and none of them have died.
That's interesting.
They've lost more people fighting the Chinese in the mountains with rocks than they have to coronavirus. Yeah, but it's fine. Whatever. We're just gonna talk about, the things we're allowed to talk about. Watch this get banned.
Yeah.
Yo, ban me. I can't wait. I wish. Do it. That means relevant. That's
That
what
was that.
class teaches me, that if you're banned, that means you're relevant.
That's the one.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know. Is there anything you want to talk about? How about how important it is to talk about what domestic violence is during a lockdown? Are you guys still locked down?
No. Well, we're at level 1, so we're pretty much not in lockdown anymore
Okay.
because we've had 100 and so days without it out in the community. We've
So
only got it at the border.
in September, are you opening up schools?
Schools and stuff already open.
Oh, okay. And are anyone, teachers, kids wearing masks?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
And have there been crazy restrictions on, teachers protesting like we're only going to open if we do this?
No,
Okay. And I really want you to look into the hydroxychloroquine thing in New Zealand because I really want to know. Just like ask because if you have no deaths, you know that statistically the countries that have malaria, they have like no deaths at all. Like they're not even on the spectrum. Like India is 92nd or 94th out of the countries that have had the highest mortality rate. I don't
oh
quote me on
wow.
that, but it's in the 90s of all the countries in the entire world, and they have the second highest population. And you know how close those people live to each other and how poor most of those people are. So all
Yeah.
those people are already taking hydroxychloroquine for malaria and other diseases. I'm not a doctor, but that fact I know. And even people in Africa, have you heard, they take hydroxychloroquine to prevent malaria and I don't know what other things, but it's dirt cheap. People aren't dying because they have it in their system and it won't let your cells become alkalinized. I don't know what the word is. See, there comes my Jersey. Your cells cannot grow in an alkaline state, and that's where the hydroxychloroquine comes in because it will stop the disease in this first stage, whatever the hell it is. But yeah, here it's like this crazy thing, but we've been using it for over 50 years and it's been safe for everything else, but it doesn't make big pharma money. And you said healthcare is free over there. So I'm really curious how New Zealand's doing.
Um, it's free at the hospitals, but that's one of the things the Prime Minister's also done is she's made healthcare cheaper and more accessible. So it used to cost us around like $60 for a doctor's appointment. Now it'll be like $20
That's amazing.
maximum.
And is that called I guess healthcare for all, like we're trying to do in America with the Democrat Party?
I think something similar. I think yeah.
Is that a socialist Democrat side ideology, I guess? I don't know.
Um.
You know where it came from?
Yeah. I'm not actually. I don't really. We're not really as into politics over here as
And even been
over there.
politics either, but like I've realized all these socialist things that usually don't work because we have leaders that have different motives for being in power, and they're all corrupt. So socialism doesn't end up working. I mean, I'm all for healthcare for all, but when you have a leader like a prime minister right now who actually seems like she's about the people, then it doesn't look like a problem. But we have people that we want to control with healthcare and scare them with our healthcare tactics and threats. Like I'm telling you right now, my kids, do you want to hear the schedule for New Jersey? Do you
Sure.
want to hear this? I want to see your reaction on camera. Okay, so full-time uh, school is abolished. There is none. You have a choice of virtual or in-person school, and you have AAVBB schedule. So Monday and Tuesday you have AA, which means if your kid is A, not by grades, just like in the category of A, they have a half day from 8 to 12. They go home for lunch, and then after lunch, they have virtual till 3 p.m. or 3:30. They have no gym. I didn't hear anything about any extracurricular activities whatsoever. So these poor kids are having 2 half days a week of school, and they get to go home and do virtual shit all over again. So then Wednesday comes around, and that's the day they're supposed to clean the building. So then BB can come in Thursday and Friday, half day also, and then they can send them home again for the virtual. So on those BB days, if you're an AA kid, you're doing virtual Wednesday through Friday. If you're a BB kid and you're doing Thursdays and Fridays in school, you're doing Monday through Wednesday virtual all day, and then Fridays afternoons. No extracurriculars, no lunches with your friends. They just open playgrounds. That's how fucked up America is right now. Only in the blue states. The red states, I can't speak for them, but I feel like they don't have any restrictions. They're like, well, we'll open and then we'll test the kids. And they, like Georgia, I heard they tested the kids, they sent them all home, and they closed the schools. Apparently they all tested for coronavirus. But meanwhile, these testing facilities like in Florida have tested, all these facilities have tested 100% positive. That's impossible. Okay. That doesn't happen in science. That has never happened. Doctors are like, what the fuck is going on? And of course, people are going, what the fuck's going on? You're telling us Florida has an outbreak, and then a week or two later, you're telling us that the beds in the hospital are not full to capacity. In fact, we've laid off so many nurses that we're just like, it's up to capacity with the amount of nurses we have on staff. Okay, because hire all these people due to the elective procedures are being canceled due to coronavirus. So yeah, people are losing their jobs left and right, and we're just saying the hospital beds are at capacity. And you know, like I said, with the testing facilities, only 10% of those tests were positive, actual positive confirmed corona deaths or corona positive testing. I'm not sure, but it was only 10% of the 100%, meaning 90% of those tests were falsified. That's how fucked up we are. That's how much we hate Donald Trump. That's how much we're willing to kill people on our watch. That's America. That's freedom right now. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in, New Zealand. That's what's really going on. Like, you want to know.
my opinion, because I do have a few American friends as well. I do know a little bit about what's going on over there, and my personal opinion is that America is going to implode soon, if it hasn't already started, because it's just out the gate, it's crazy, it's just
Yeah. We're all racist. Meanwhile, like we're not. We're just like, I have black neighbors and we say hi to each other every day, and I haven't treated them any different. They haven't treated me any different. And I'm just hoping and praying that we're on the same level, that this shit is crazy. But then when I go to do yoga on the porch, they're listening to CBS or NBC, and I'm like, motherfuck. Like, they probably think I'm this racist white girl because I have a "Don't Tread on Me" flag on my porch. But don't tread on me. And that's exactly what's been happening, is lots of treading on me. Okay?
Yeah, Black Lives Matter is like, so I learned a lot about American history when I was at school. It was one of my options to do history, so I learned a lot about, civil rights and stuff in America.
Okay.
And I personally believe that after everything that's going on, this is just my opinion, everything that's going on at the moment in America surrounding the Black Lives Matter movement, I personally believe Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks would be turning in their graves.
Me too.
That's my opinion.
Me too. Because there's no way you can protest peace and equality. Sorry, I said peace. Peace and equality by burning down police stations that are the ones keeping these low-income communities safe. You can't say that it's peaceful protesting. Like, enough with this bullshit. It's not
It's
peaceful.
not.
They're telling you on the news it's peaceful to shut you up because you're so used to being spoon-fed this bullshit. And if you're an American, you know oh, this can never happen to me. We're the greatest country in the world. Oh, you're the dumbest people on earth because all you care about is the Kardashians and eating your McDonald's and maybe your chakras, and you just start doing yoga, but you don't know shit about history because you've been brainwashed since probably middle school about what really didn't happen in America. And you've been taught hate, and you've been taught to hate your country literally since you were in.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
yeah.
My kids aren't in middle school yet, but they're already talking about, oh, Columbus, Indigenous People Day. I was like, yeah, that's still history, but that time period, many people were conquering all parts of the world. The British were all over the place, and India used to be a British colony. Hong Kong used to be a British. They have no idea about this. I had to learn this on my own.
I'm a British colony.
Yes, New Zealand is a British colony. All these freaking places. I did not learn any of that at all in school. That was all me looking at the globe and being, why the hell is this called New Zealand? Okay. And me reading books. Not that my, studies even brought me there. I just really was fascinated with geography and I guess world exploration. I was really into it, and I read a couple books, and I was like, damn, like these people really had no idea where they were going, and they thought the earth was flat. So, and okay,
Yeah.
they had guns and other people's didn't, and they had a mission and they were told what to do and they were paid for it. And then they brought back what they did, and then the kings rewrote whatever they felt like to be history, especially the British. So we already know that is all bullshit. So
Yeah, New Zealand has a very bloody history.
yeah.
It's like, one of my biggest things with, I think there were a few protests for Black Lives Matter over here, and my thing with it was, you're screaming out an outrage at something that's happened half a world away, but we've still got our own racism issues over here in New Zealand, like with our Māori and it's our one of our native ethnicities of this country. Um, we've got our own racism issues we need to solve before we can worry about someone else's backyard. Do you
Okay,
know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Is mostly concerned about America, right? And our police force oppressing whatever the fuck they believe in. I just know they're Marxist ideologies, and people are too stupid and too emotional to understand where these movements are coming from, because who wouldn't agree with Black Lives Matter? Who wouldn't agree with that? What kind of parent would tell their kid, no, you can't go to this movement? Black Lives Matter? Don't you believe Black Lives Matter? My child got an email from their virtual science class about Black Lives Matter. What the fuck is an 8-year-old getting an email from a science program about Black Lives Matter? And it was called mysteryscience.com. Yeah, I'm calling out this bullshit site. They said to my kid in an email what Black Lives Matter is, except they forgot to mention all the people that suffered under the movement, all the black little kids that died. That's okay. We covered that in our home history class, because every single black life that was lost under Black Lives Matter rallies, I'm sorry, let me call them riots for what they really are, like little babies shot in their cars with their parents on the way to 4th of July fireworks. They had
yeah,
no idea what color they were, what race, what creed. They were walking around like lawless little assholes shooting at driving cars. They wanted to start a rally. They wanted to start a riot. None of this was, we have the right to protest. That is, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, all these rights, and they're just garbage. Oh, well, that doesn't fit the narrative either, because black on black crime doesn't fit the narrative. Whoopsie. It doesn't fit the narrative. The only crime we care about in the media here is white on black crime. And
hmm
we have people missing, we have sex trafficking out of control. It's just a disaster. So I'm really hoping that we don't get another pedophile in office. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I
stressful.
don't know. I think, yeah, where are these again, I'm on the other side of the world, so I might not have it quite right, but all these Native American Indian girls all going missing but not really being looked for. If
No.
you get my drift.
And I'm sorry, are you aware that Donald Trump actually signed an executive order to actually have a task force looking for these Native American missing women? That
I
was his.
wasn't aware of that. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
For such a horrible, sorry, hang on, I'm gonna have this. For such a horrible president.
yeah, he's such a horrible president. Meanwhile, we had a black president. We thought that he would fix racism, but he actually made it worse. And everybody was rooting for him, but in the second term, we were a hot spot for human trafficking. And here we are, making it a little
Yeah.
better. I hope. I don't know, but it's only time will tell.
Well, that's the one. Any little bit helps, so
We got Guantanamo Bay
at
open.
least it's been acknowledged and whatnot.
It's been acknowledged, but we still got Pornhub running and all these victims coming up. Like, Jesus Christ, can you take my rape video down? No.
Yeah, don't get me started on Pornhub. We have access to it over here too. It's
I'm not against porn. I'm against violence against
yeah,
and those women are
and the
not.
normalization of the violence.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And then how do you feel about BDSM? Do you feel like, because this is a new topic for me, but this was brought to my attention, like apparently women, men, whatever, and these relationships that come out, they want to be dominated. They feel like they can only get off with violence involved. Are you familiar with any of that? Because I don't know how I feel about it. I have to do more research, but
I have heard about it, and actually, I think there was a case that actually happened in New Zealand about an English tourist who met with a guy from Tinder, one of the dating apps over here, and he ended up killing her. He's saying it was just rough sex gone wrong, but she can't tell her side of the story of what actually happened to her. But yeah.
do you know how he killed her?
Strangulation. That's one of the ways, and then he took photos of her body after the fact, and
He did what?
yeah, he took photos of her body, and then went and got a pizza afterwards, and then disposed of her body.
Stop it. You just said he got a pizza.
He went out and got pizza.
Well, I'm surprised he wasn't a fucking cannibal at this point. How can you eat after you murdered your lover or whatever you want to call it? Jesus Christ. I'm a little nauseous.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Oh
lie.
yeah, New Zealand's got a really high. We've got one of the highest child abuse rates in the OECD, and our domestic violence rates aren't too shit flash either. Well, what are you doing? Get off.
Aw. Yeah, I want to be the center of attention on this video. Alrighty, well, you guys are adorable. I gotta go get my daughter from her play date. Oh, what a cutie pie. Wow, he's just
Yeah.
well, any last words? I'm sure we can come on and debate all these issues next time, and maybe one day you'll tell your story. But any final words?
Not really. Just like Don't sweep shit under the rug. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Exactly. Don't sweep shit under the rug. Don't victim shame. Be
Oh
accountable.
yes, victim shaming.
You become an abuser because that's the you become an abuser when you are in that situation. You think it's okay to treat other people like that, and maybe not
Yeah.
intentional, but I've been there myself, and I had to stop myself and check myself and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Calm down. You're not a crazy bitch. You're just in the moment. You're just thinking like, oh, this is how I'm defending myself. But it's not even actually. I've caught myself being an abuser by like doing the same things that my ex has done, like throwing things, maybe not even in the vicinity of that person, but like expressing my anger that way, even by myself, just like want to throw something, I want to break something. It's not healthy.
Yeah. I usually use my words.
I hate doing that. I've been trying not to do that because I don't like the outcome. I'm always sorry.
Yeah. It's yeah, I don't know. Something with me is I've always used my words, but I always use painful truths to hurt people, and it's not a nice thing to do. Like, yeah, you got to be real self-aware sometimes.
Yeah, you really have to be self-aware. I just hope that, other people are self-aware, the ones that are still locked down, the ones that are stuck in the house with their abusers. There's help. I don't know if you guys have services in New Zealand, but there is a domestic violence hotline. So
Yes, we have one of those in New Zealand too, and something called the Women's Refuge, who take in women and children.
there is help. You just gotta want it. You just gotta stop pushing because there's help out there.
Yeah,
All right. Well, be safe out there. Love
you
you.
too.
Take care.
Try not to go too crazy during lockdown.
I won't because I'm still occupied. So that's the best part about it is like I'm still talking to people online and I'm still going to work, not really going to any bars. Not that I ever did. I'm way too busy for that bullshit. But like definitely giving back to the community when I can because I feel like that makes me feel better. And I'm so strong. Look at these muscles. So I'm just
I know.
I'm giving it back to the world, and that's how I heal. So I recommend you doing that too, because
Yeah,
there's always people that you can support, whether you know them or not. And that's why we're friends now.
I would do that, but I got my dog on me.
I know. I am.
I'll do a half one.
Yeah, half a heart. Thank you
It's
for
awesome.
listening.